Hello, this is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. Please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Today's video is regarding the animation. I finally completed a first version of events. I'll probably work on another one at some point. And who knows, maybe 2 or 3 different versions. It just takes so long to do. Nobody knows exactly what happened in that house. I'm sure law enforcement has a pretty good idea, and I think they were pretty accurate in the Dateline episode because the defense team and the judge seem to be angry that there's a leak, and they wouldn't be angry if it was all just false, totally random, bogus information that was put out. So what we're going to do is show these first 4 passes first, and then we'll get into the animation, sort of the flow of how this actually went down. So this is the pass number 1. It combines the surveillance camera from 1112 King Road, which is a house right next to 1122 King Road, where all 4 of the victims, Ethan Chapin, Xander Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez, were all killed. It's right next to that. And so I used that camera and 1330 Linda Lane, and you can really piece together the movements of the white Elantra that's driving in the area, suspect vehicle 1. Now on pass number 1, the vehicle stops back here for over a minute. And from here, you can see right into Madison Mogan's room. There's a board on it, but that house right there, if the light was on, you could easily see into that room. And if you go back a little bit more to the left and park there, maybe on some of his scouting missions, you could see right into the room and likely even see if she came out of her bathroom, into her room, etc. All right, so the vehicle is about ready to take off here in a second. And this is my video. I went out there and filmed what I thought he was doing, and it turns out it is pretty dang accurate. I did this back in December of 2023. I think on the 27th, the house was torn down on the 28th. So right now we're just about to get onto Queen Road from back behind the property there. So it's heading west on Queen Road, and then it's going to take a right on King Road. See that house right in front of us? That's 1119 King Road. Just to the left of that, the camera on 1112 King Road that we were just looking through can spot this vehicle driving behind it. So, if you pretend that this is Koberger's vehicle that we're in, and drives this way on Taylor Avenue, and then right now at that street sign becomes Walanta Drive, drives up here, and then just before the road curves right there, that's where the camera spots the Elantra driving back this direction. All right, and so I cut out all this stuff that it does back here. I've made plenty of videos with all that. Now we're back into pass number 2, and now it drives right past 1112 King Road right now. Now it passes right now 1122 King Road that's on the right, and then this is 500 Queen Road. It drives right back behind it. Now see the headlights hitting that building? That is number 52 back there. And that's exactly where they say in the probable cause document that the vehicle did a 3-point turn. Now here it comes back, turning at this point, just like my video showed where I'm in the car driving. This is 1330 Linda Lane. And then it goes back around 500 Queen Road, which is represented right here in the video. This is exactly where that car would be going. And the headlights, again, at a certain point, my headlights are different than an Elantra. But as the car turns right here, the headlights hit 1127. So that's right when the car is turning and hadn't parked yet. So I would say it takes, between, maybe 10, 12 seconds to park actually after turning there. I'm not sure why I said actually twice in a row there, but I did. It's probably the brain fog. So this is where he parks on pass number 2. And on pass number 2, he stays here for I think it's like 20, 25 seconds or so. So it's not as long. And then takes off. And then you'll see the new footage that's out here from 1112 King Road. It'll film the car driving by pretty soon, like right around in this area, as it turns right onto King Road. There it is right there at 3:40 and 33 seconds. And then right here it turns. And then again it goes on to Taylor Avenue, then we'll launch a drive, and then the lights will be seen behind the 1119 King Road again. And I set it up where it's the timing is exactly accurate that you see on the screen to the location. Now I apologize for my voice being so messed up. I've been pretty sick the last 3 days or so. It's not good. All right, so now we're on pass number 3. And this pass is interesting because this is the one where the DoorDash driver shows up into the area just after he exits on King Road, if it's true that the key fob, when he hits the key fob, the DoorDash driver, it beeps his car. It's right at 3:59 and like 47 seconds or so. So it's like really, that seems very logical that key fob is the DoorDash driver. Now, if it's at 3:59, then that means the DoorDash driver is likely going to pass Kohberger as he's leaving. Now, the documents say it's 3:59. So if you look right here, the car stops at 3:57:31. So for the DoorDash to be delivered at 3:59, the car would have had to pull in probably at like 3:58 something to get out of the car to then place it at 3:59 exactly. So look what time it is right now. It's 3:57:50, and I think the car is only here for 20 seconds or so again. Maybe 30. Now it's 3:58. And this stuff's all on cameras, the timing here. So the vehicle is going to turn left onto Queen Road here, or west. And as it's heading this direction, you can see the time, 3:58:21. So for the DoorDash driver, and look what time it is, like 3:58:30, I'm turning right here. For the DoorDash driver to actually pull in and deliver that, he's likely would be passing the DoorDash driver right in this area right here, right now. If it's at 3:59. Now, if it's 3:59:47, the DoorDash driver is to the right on Taylor Avenue. So that means when Kohberger is driving this direction on Taylor Avenue and then Willanta Drive, if you look at the time right there, 3:58:59, probably right up and around in this area here, he looks over and he can see that there's a car heading into the area, right? So then he turns around and comes back really quickly, all right? I'm not showing that portion on here, but I have that in other videos. So now we're on pass number 4. Now, pass number 4 is complicated because he comes in the first time, and I think because of the DoorDash delivery, he noticed it. He's going to turn back and go check out what the hell just happened. Do double checking at the house. So he's driving back here because he really wants to commit this homicide this night. So he drives back. He does a 3-point turn. He's ready to go. He's been doing all of his scouting for a long time, and he's ready to go. So this time in front of number 52 earlier, where I said he did a 3-point turn, there he is doing the 3-point turn back there. And then it'll drive back in front of 500 Queen Road going the other direction. It's the only time he went that direction. The DoorDash delivery had Kohberger doing stuff he wasn't prepared to do. So in this case, he went down this direction, so heading west behind 500 Queen Road. And there's the clock time there. Now, this new footage does show it do the other 3-point turn at Queen and King Road. And that's coming up here in just a second. So here's the vehicle still heading west on Queen Road. And then right at this intersection, it does a 3-point turn. Now the vehicle's driving way slower because it's trying to check out and see what's going on at the 1122 King Road address, because he saw that there was a car there earlier, and that's why he's doing this right here. And this is from, obviously, the Dateline episode. And there goes the white Elantra. Now this time it goes back and it completes the 4th pass just like it did on all the first 3. It just had that initial, going back there, 3-point turn, and then going back, and then doing another 3-point turn, and now it's going back, and now it's completing it. And this time he's really ready to go. This last lap is much quicker than any of the others. And as you can see, he's going back behind 500 Queen Road, and will park back there for the final time ever. Like, he never went back there again. And so at 4:07 and 47 seconds is when the lights hit 1127. Probably parked around 4:08. And he might have even parked further down there. Once he knew he was ready to go, he probably wanted to put his car in a place where he could get out, get into his car, and take off. We don't get to know that because there's no surveillance cameras that would even show if his headlights were hitting that building in front of us, for example. So eventually he goes into the house. Now, I don't know what time he actually went in there, but here he is right here. So if you look right here, suspect exits kitchen and goes upstairs, passing Dylan Mortensen's room. It's right there on the left. Then he goes up the stairs. All right, then at the top of the stairs, the suspect turns right and heads towards Madison Mogan's room. And that's that room right there. And he goes in there, and the suspect begins attacking Madison, who likely was asleep, and Kaylee, who woke up during the attack of Madison. And I think he easily was able to take out Madison. Then Dylan hears sounds. She's laying on her bed. She hears sounds. She thinks it's somebody playing with a dog up there. There was no screaming sounds. I know a lot of people say there has to be screaming sounds, but no, there doesn't, man. That's in the movies. A lot of people believe that these movies are somehow indicative of reality. So here comes Xana Kernodle. So Xana heads to the kitchen to drop off her Jack-in-the-Box DoorDash bag after eating it. So I think this is around like 4:12 or 13, something like that. I think Kohberger spent time at his vehicle going outside, monitoring still, but also getting ready for blood spatter mitigation when he comes back. And there goes Xana into the kitchen, and perhaps she notices the sliding glass door was open because Kohberger had come in and likely left it open. And she's looking at it, but at that same time, there's still attack going on upstairs because apparently Kaylee was fighting back. And so Xana can maybe hear some noises up there, and I think somewhere around, right up in this area, is when Xana said, "Is there someone here?" as she goes up the stairs, all right? Is someone here? And then he probably heard that, and then he, I'm just putting in animation and stuff to fill in the gaps sometimes. So Xana's up there. Dylan comes out after she heard that question or that statement being made. And then Xana comes up, looks into the room, and maybe sees him and sort of like, whoa, whoa. And then he starts following her. Like at first she wasn't totally scared. Maybe she was just going to say, hey, there's somebody here. Now he's following her, and she's trying to make it back to her room, and he catches up to her. And then Dylan opens her door a second time when she heard crying from Kernodle's room. And as you can see right there, I have Xana fighting with him. But I make everything blurry so you can't really see. And I think, obviously, I think Dylan's still hearing sounds. That's right. Then is when he cut the artery of Ethan, and now he's carving his legs or something. And then, as they said, he sat down. Maybe he was tired. They said, don't know. And Dylan can still hear stuff and isn't sure what's going on. And then the defense team said that there was evidence that he was cleaning up. So maybe at this point he goes into the bathroom. See, this is all just maybes. Nobody knows exactly. So he's cleaning his hands. Maybe he wants to have clean hands so when he exits the house, there's even a less chance of spreading any, DNA into his vehicle. And at this point, maybe Xana starts getting up and is making a noise like, what's going on? She just barely knows what's happening. And then he comes in and he attacks her again, but he says, it's okay, I'm going to help you. And then he goes out and he exits the house. But as he's leaving, that's when Dylan opens her door and she sees the bushy eyebrows. Now look, this is how you can see it. Watch, when she opens her door, there it is, bushy eyebrows, boom. Takes her right, then goes out the sliding glass door. All right, now the vehicle stays back here for a while, 420 and 3 seconds, 4 seconds. And so probably even an extra 2 minutes. I think he left the house at 4:18. That's when the dog was barking, just before 4:18. So I think he was at his vehicle really hurrying to get his clothing off. He knows how important it is to mitigate the blood spatter into his vehicle, so he's really hustling and trying to get this done, but he's also nervous because the dog's barking and he wants to get out of there. So he finally gets it completed, because without completing that, he puts himself in forensic trouble. So he takes off at a high rate of speed, and then he passes that camera right here at 4:20 and 47 seconds, right there. And he zips out of there. All right, now after this, I'm going to play the entire animation with just music, and you can just watch it and leave a comment and let me know what you think. All right, so we're going to start that animation, and right now. All right, everybody. Thank you all very much for watching the video. I hope someday we get to know exactly what happened inside that house so I can come up with the most accurate version possible. I might even make, like I said before, some other versions of this video to account for other things. I mean, this is just one possible scenario. I've actually thought that maybe Xana and Ethan were attacked first in other videos. Maybe when Kohberger got into the house, that's when Xana was actually in the kitchen. Maybe saw him coming down to the house. But it doesn't seem like that's how it went, because that would cause a lot of commotion and problems, and he likely wouldn't have committed the murders. I think he just would have saw Xana in the kitchen and called it off. What happened in this case was that Kohberger, things happened that he didn't plan on. For example, Kaylee was in Madison's bed, and then somebody came up perhaps and hurt him or something of that nature, like Xana was somehow aware, and then he had to then go attack her to keep her from calling the cops or something, and then Ethan is in the room too, etc. So things just went haywire for him. I think Kohberger's initial plan was to go into the house and kill Madison Mogen, and I think he was going to leave a K-bar knife sheath there as a calling card. That's just what I believe, all right? So if you guys could please let me know what you think in the comments about the video. Hit the like button, and if you could do me a favor and share the video in as many places as possible, I'd really appreciate it. The time it took me to make this video is almost, it's ludicrous. It took probably, I would say, 50 hours minimum to make. So I would appreciate the support and sharing the video, all right? So thank you all very much again for watching. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there.